Story time. Okay, so I'm out back and I'm mowing the lawn. And that's for any of you who know how my health has been in the last few years, like that's going to surprise you. And I've really been working on developing a sense of safety in my body, a safety in the connection between my mind, body, heart, and soul, of course. Can't forget that. And with the earth and with knowing what I am able to do and when. And so I got up today and some of my measurements were showing really good and some of them were showing less than good and telling me to take it easy and take it a break. But I went to bed last night sort of just knowing that today I was going to mow the lawn. And I can't really explain that, but it's just one of those intuitive knowings I just knew. And so I got up and I took my time with it. I didn't just dive in. I took some time to really center and check in with my body and to, not just follow the numbers, but to take them into consideration while also really tuning into my body and what was right for me today. And so I did the backyard. We don't have a very big lawn, so this isn't, this took me less than half an hour and I did a few rounds of it. We have an even smaller front yard, so it would take maybe 10 minutes. And I was feeling like, okay, I've pushed it and maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe I shouldn't do the front yard. Why do I feel so drawn to the front yard? And I started to think, this is my old programming coming back, that I just want to do the front yard because I have it in my mind that both should be done at the same time. And I started to really question that. And I think that that's really important, that we begin to question the beliefs that we have on our healing journey, because some of them have come with us from times past that no longer serve us now. And some of them have been built during the illness cycle. And so I started to question that belief. Do I really have this belief that it needs to be cut at the same time as the backyard and that my job is not finished, that I have not succeeded if I don't do the front yard too? And I thought that belief doesn't really make sense, because I feel like I've had a huge success today by mowing just the backyard. And I know that I've done this without pressure, without any expectations of myself or from anybody else onto me. And that I have already won. I have already succeeded today by taking this step and by doing this. And by being out in the sun and by enjoying the weather, and I have my bare feet on the grass, not while I was mowing, obviously, but now that it's done. And so I sat down and I turned off the podcast I was listening to, and I turned off all sound and I tuned back into my body, and my body was actually rocking like a pendulum. It was physically moving like a pendulum. And I started to ask my body, what's going on? And why do I feel so torn? And I realized that I had a conflict between my head and my heart, because I started to tune in and ask myself, what's best for my health today? What's best for me today? Do I want to cut the front yard too, or should I just call it and go take a little bit of a rest? And my body is doing this. And this is one of my symptoms that I used to get quite a bit of, that used to really bug me. And it came to me in that moment that I had a conflict between my head and my heart. And so I did some energetics to reconnect that connection and that flow between my head and my heart. And I started to ask myself, what is it that is the conflict? What is my head saying versus what is my heart saying? And my head was saying, you need to pace yourself. Just do the backyard. You don't need to do the front yard too. You've been taught over and over and over again that when you push yourself too hard, you crash. You've been taught over and over and over again that you have to pace yourself in a certain way. But the thing is, when we are recovering, we can't recover from the same place that we have been living in illness. And pacing is a huge piece of both of those, but it's allowed to change, right? Depending on where we're at in our recovery. And eventually we have to come to a place of being able to expand that capacity. And that's where I feel like I've slowly been reaching this place of being able to and practicing the expansion of that capacity through very significant layers of felt safety in the body and in the activities that I'm doing, and accommodations in place to support it as needed. And my heart was saying, you really want to go cut the front lawn. Like, you just want to do this. Go do it. And so it was that conflict between my head and my heart that was causing this uproar of symptoms in that moment. And so I'm going to go cut the front lawn. And I don't know, if you don't hear from me for a few days, then either I've crashed or I'm doing really well and I'm too busy to post. So I'll see if I can keep you posted.